expedition is not about making mileage. It's about just having the adventure. And it's not an adventure until things go sideways. And so a lot of things will. Every year is completely different. And the stories, you cannot beat the stories. I'm Ryan Shelley, and with my brother David, we put on the Vintage 4x4 Expedition here in Somerset, California. It's an event for pre-1975 trucks, cars, motorcycles, tractors, you name it.
My name's David. I'm one of the hosts of the Vintage 4x4 Expedition. What I like about the event, it's just a great group of people. We all come up here and get together. Everybody's in all states of restoration. It's something that maybe they just put together and were working the past month on to get their vehicle up here. And then we have fully restored rigs who are up for the weekend having a great time. Everybody's here to help each other out and make it up through the trail, drive their stuff, and enjoy a great day of wheeling. It's something that you don't really get the chance to do at this point, especially with this older stuff, and have the infrastructure with all these people to help you out.
We stay here at a family cabin in Somerset, and we work our way up into the woods of El Dorado National Forest and up to Mormon Immigrant Trail eventually. Hit the snow, put on the tire chains, and it's one fight for everybody up the hill. This year, just because the event's grown so much, it was inundated with people. So now we're looking at figuring that out as we grow and getting further up the hill and staging in a meadow, which we flirted with this year. We actually did, and it worked out really, really nicely. We had a wonderful historical speech early on before we all took off up the hill about all the history of the area, logging, mining, stills, bootlegging, all the good stuff that makes history so juicy and so rich around here in El Dorado County.
I tell you, when I heard you guys roaring up through the woods, I got pretty darn excited. So please take those stories. There's a lot of you. Tell everybody what you've learned out in these woods and how we need to better manage these woods. Anyway, I'll let you guys go, and I'm going to shut up. Thanks. Thank you.
You see a lot of variety. We're really into the curved fender Jeeps, flat fender Jeeps, Willys wagons, Willys trucks. You see a lot of British stuff, Land Rovers, Scouts. Everything shows up here. If you have an old four-wheel drive, Nissan Patrol, whatever it is, it's welcome here. We are a non-denominational church of four-wheel drive. It doesn't have to be perfectly restored either. You know, we all have other lives, we all have things going on, and we try real hard to get everybody up here to use it in the winter, right before the spring really, and then have the car set up for the rest of the summer so you can drive around, and then you can just sit around, do cars and coffee. That said, this is a driving event. It's a driving and camping event, and it's kind of where these vehicles are in their element. So some of the bigger stuff is showing up, and they are the ones that generally do the recon or the recovery of all the vehicles that break down, and inevitably stuff does, because driving it around on the streets is smooth, and we're out there bouncing around. You know, rust comes loose in gas tanks, and clogs fuel lines. Carburetors don't like bouncing on rutted roads. Stuff that, you know, we really do tune to a different level than most road-going cars. So if you do break down, we have the recovery vehicles, and that is what we do. We have a whole group of veterans that have done this for the last 10, 20 years, and we get you off the trail. So, you know, I don't want to encourage non-running or half-running vehicles to come up here, but that's kind of our fun.
Another one down. Next.
This year we had 50 vehicles. It's been a growing event. A lot of early CJ5s, which is Jeeps, which is really interesting to see that vehicle come into its own as a collector vehicle.
And the baby's still asleep in the back.
But if you have a weird project, bring it up. Weird chainsaw from 1950s. All the early mountain technology is totally welcome, and this is the place to show that stuff off. Every year is completely different. Some years it's tire chains right out of the driveway, and some years it's dusty and everyone's in Hawaiian shirts. So that's kind of the beauty of having the event in February, is that you really never know in California what you're going to get. So you end up with the variety pack, and sometimes this place is just a giant mud hole. And some days it's just dusty and dry, and we all put up with it together, and I think that's what makes this event different than others. There's no singular camp. Everybody's in each other's camp, everybody's socializing, everybody's passing food around, mixing cocktails, whatever it is. Everybody brings something here, and no person is left behind or in need. It is a community, and it's a very welcoming community. These are cars of character, so I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I brought a 62 Plymouth Valiant up here, and this car lived its life up in Paradise. It was a husband and a wife up there that owned it, and the husband had bought an early J-Series truck, and shortly after purchasing this truck, he had a tree fall on it. So to get it in and out of the mountains up there, he decided that he'd graft the transmission, transfer case, and axles under his wife's Valiant to get down to town. Came out of an estate shortly before Paradise went up in flames. And we were lucky enough to save it and bring it back to life. And so it's been up running the trails up here and having a great time.
I grew up coming up here with my parents. Everybody else had cabins, say in Tahoe or wherever else, and my friends didn't really see the value of this area. And I always found it to be the stories were really rich, the culture is very rich, and it's something that I just find myself really drawn to. And I think this event really helps show that character off to other people. So if you haven't been to El Dorado County, you're missing something. This is a lot of fun. The foothills are open. There's nobody around to bother you. Get out of the cities. Get out of where you're at and explore something new that didn't really have a tourist brochure.